your Google Forms. That's one way to get it. Another way is to go this. People said they can explore these tools. That's one way to get there. Another way is so make sure it's here. And then make it great. Okay. So everybody good to go? Everybody got their computers? All right. So right before break, I asked you to fill out a little Google response form and got you some feedback about what kinds of things in this powerful tool called Google Apps for Education that we all just have total access to because we have Gmail. That's just they just give it to us so that they can keep track of us, right? But anyway, here we have it. So y'all help me by filling this out and putting some answers in here. And this will look familiar to you. Just want to share some of this. So I'm kind of trying to share and use these tools at the same time. So you'll notice some people responded here, and here's some of the things they had to say. Most people said they can get around and use some but not all the tools. Some people said they really have it under control and look forward to sharing with others. What would you like to learn more about? There was a broad list of, and then in the narrative down below, people got a little more specific about what they wanted to learn about. I asked about digital portfolios, and some people said, I want to get started, but not sure I have the time and energy. The reason I talk about digital portfolios here is because all these Google apps are the same. The toolbars are the same. So much of it's the same. So if you know how to use one thing well, it's just going to kind of navigate in the rest of your gun and be like, oh, this isn't really so hard. I've done that, so I think I get it now. So this whole suite of apps, and we're going to look at a couple of them today, they just lead well into the others. So anyway, some people said that they wanted to get started but didn't have the time, maybe wanted some help putting this off, and a couple of our teachers had bought Office Depot stock. Thank you, Katie and Elizabeth. And then using Google Classroom, looks like a lot of people aren't sure about using Google Classroom. Some said yes, and nobody said no, which leads me to believe that there's some interest, but maybe time is always an issue. So I left Google Classroom for the end of this lesson because I thought as we get to know docs and drawings and things, like I said, all these things build on each other. Once you know how to use one, it's like, oh, there's the toolbar, this is how you import, this is how you share, blah, blah, blah. Some narrative about what people want to see more of, and there was a lot about Google Drawing and what we did here today. So they're talking about this is called Google Forms, what we're looking at here. Okay, this is a form. This is the first thing we're going to do today is do a little Google form. I'm going to show you how to share it with your students and to look at the responses when they come back. And you can look at the responses in this type of format, which is kind of a fun, interesting, visually stimulating way, or you can look at it in a dull Google Sheets format. You can look at it either way.
Can you show the other way again?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you can look at it this way. And you can have these answers either pop up while the kids are working. So if a group is working and so everybody's working away and like answers pop up on the board. Okay, there's another answer there, you know. Or you can wait till the end when they hit submit after they've answered all the questions, and then they populate this screen. So just something to think about if you decide to use this tool in the classroom. Today, I'm doing this for my class, and this camera's set up in the back. I have to teach a professional development lesson to a class for my assessment and differentiation classes. So that's what this is. So thanks for giving me the opportunity. So learning targets. Today we're going to create a Google form and share it. Create a Google drawing. That one's super easy. And we'll get started setting up a Google Classroom. People can kind of see what that is, and then if they want to explore it more. It's a very powerful, interesting tool that integrates with all these tools and allows you to share, get responses. I'll show you some of the things it does. You would open up your computer, and Kevin, if I could bother you to jump in here and join us. And I'm going to I've asked Kevin to play along here so that he could, if you log into your mail, Kevin,
in middle school.
If you'll go in your mail, and then you go up in the upper right-hand corner of your mail, there's a number of ways to get here. You could just Google, if you're logged in, and you Google Forms, it will take you to, and you click on Start, it'll just take you to your Google Drive, to your Google Forms. That's one way to get there. Another way is to go in this upper right-hand corner, this little waffle square. Click on the waffle square and go down until you see Forms. And if you go to More here, Kevin, you'll see Forms, this little purple sheet on the right. Yours might be in a different place. Kevin clicked on it, and here we are. This is what Google Forms looks like. Select Forms Exit Ticket. So if you'll select this form called Exit Ticket, we're going to make an exit ticket. So tomorrow, think about what you're going to do tomorrow. Think about a lesson you have tomorrow. If you have time, or the next day, you may as well prepare this thing so you can use it. So you're going to ask the student, you're going to call it exit ticket, or you can name it something else. You can put in there, some instructions. So if you just click on it, it highlights. You can type in anything you want there. You can call it what you want. So there's a title. Then you have, your directions. Please do this today before you leave class. Then you have the student's name. You don't have to have names for these kind of things. It's kind of fun when this form pops up and there are no names attached to it. I kind of like that. Like if you see this thing pop up with responses and there's no names. And if you do end up having them enter their name, you can just click on this cell and just hide that cell and you won't see it. So if you just want kids to show what they know but not have the fear of not knowing. So you don't have to have a name here. If you don't want it, just hit the trash can. This question will go away. Or type something else in there. Instead of name, type in, name one
So you can type in text.
type of fossil. Right, you just type your text in there. And then you go over here to where it says short answer, the drop-down menu. You can choose whether it's multiple choice, short answer, essay, check boxes, paragraph, ad infinitum.
Or do you have to have them enter their name and email every
You
Oh,
don't
email.
have to have them
You don't
enter.
have to do that,
No,
though.
these are all just suggestions. Everything written there, you can change. If you click on it, you pick what it says.
Right.
And then this many questions are all suggestions. You just hit the trash cans and they all go away. And when you hit this plus sign up here, this plus sign makes new questions. So if you click on the plus sign, here comes a new question.
And if you hit the send button, then it'll give you options to send it to certain people, or what?
Yeah, so send, so that's the next thing. Send is like share. Okay, send, this is a form, so we're going to send it rather than sharing it. So yeah, in the upper right hand corner there's a little box that says send. When you click on send, it's going to bring up a thing that says who do you want to send it to. So this is addresses. I know some of you have created, what's it called, a group in your mail contacts. And so if you want to send it to your class, you just type in, like for me, I type in MS, it populates the whole middle school. I hit send, it sends it to every kid in the middle school. I populate HS, it goes to all the high school students. I populate teachers, it goes to all of you. So I highly recommend you do that. It takes just a minute. And for most of you, if you've ever sent an email to that kid before, as soon as you type in the first two letters of their name, it's going to populate. You don't have to type out erayos@silvertonschool.org. As soon as you do ER, it's going to populate it, and you just click on it, and boom, 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 you've done 15 kids in 2 minutes, and you're done. That's under contacts in your Gmail. So if you're ready and you're up and running, just for the heck of it, send one of these to the person sitting next to you, and let them see what it looks like. And then they'll respond, just put a letter in there or something, and hit respond, and they'll see it populate. So if you want to do that really quick, we can all see what it looks like to get it. It's all right.
So I think that this could be really cool, the exit ticket part, because you could have them do it at the end, but you don't have to do anything with it yet until the next day. Or till the beginning of the next class, or you could do it at the beginning of class, and then as they're working, as they're doing stuff, so it would be an exit ticket, it would be like a, where are we at right now?
Review from yesterday's.
And then later on during the class, you're like, okay, here's what you guys said for this question. Do you still feel the same? What do we need to change? Like here's your answers and where are we at now?
Right. As opposed to taking that piece of paper back out and handing them all back around, and I looked at these yesterday, and now where are they? Can I get them back again?
Well, like today, I noticed when you did this with them that they were like looking at it. I mean, they liked seeing their answers on it.
They love seeing
Like they
their
were
answers
just, and some
populate.
of them even were like, no, that's fine. And they're like, no, that's not yours. That's fine. I'm like, okay, yeah, because they wanted to have the good answer.
That's why I could have made it one.
And I like seeing them all at the same time too. It's just different seeing them all at the same time than each individual kids.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on here to Google Drawings. Okay, we're gonna not spend much time here. We're gonna just spend.
So what do you think is the best application for it? Is
If you're
it,
gonna make like a poster or a flyer for your classroom, if you wanna say the ski team meeting on Tuesday and you wanna put a picture of a skier on it just to make it more than ski
Yeah.
team meeting, that's a great way to import a photograph. And you get these text boxes that you can move around, whereas in Google Doc, if you wanna put text, it's kinda
Yeah.
like, oh, where can I put text? Oh, it doesn't want me
right,
to
a
put it
little
there.
conversion.
Text boxes are nice.
Yeah.
This is what this is mostly good for, is creating text boxes, and photographs. So I've made a lot of them over the years. If I go to my, go to climbing, I've made a bunch of
Yeah,
them.
let's see, let's check.
Here's, this is one that's, I don't know if I wasn't finished. Here's Ellie climbing. And then I put a little, you know, you can insert these,
Oh, that's so cute.
shapes, right? You can insert a shape.
Yeah.
You just insert it, there it is, type inside of it, you'll have to play with it a little bit, figure out how it works, but everything is its own box. I recommend everything be its own little box, don't try and combine
Right.
boxes in here, because it gets messy.
Why would you prefer this over Publisher?
I prefer this over Publisher because Publisher requires that I be on a specific computer, and I move computers. Like if I go home and work on my Mac, I don't bring this home. So I often work at home on my computer, and so it's all on the internet. So if I'm, suddenly it's your computer and I need to use it, mainly because it exists in cyberspace as opposed to on a computer.
Like
But Publisher is, yeah, like Prezi is better than PowerPoint because it exists on the internet. Okay,
No,
so
it's
let's get back to where we're going so we can, I want to show you Classroom really quick.
Yeah.
Because this is a really neat.
There it is.
So,
Yeah.
my classroom is right here. See this little icon right here? It says Google Classroom. Okay, you just Google Classroom, it'll say you want to open up a Google account, blah, blah, blah. No, I already have a Google account. Okay, log in. You log in and it looks like something
There
like,
it is.
it doesn't look like this. So, Kevin, let's do it on your computer really quick. Just Google Classroom,
There it is.
and you'll see what it looks like when you do it. This is my high school classroom. Here's my, I made this one up, SPS Teachers one.
Is this saved automatically?
And if you look in the upper left, what's saved automatically?
Because I was just getting into my drawing, so is it saved somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
That's another thing about this, you don't ever hit save in Docs. There is no save button. There is no
Yeah,
place to
which is
hit
really
save.
Confusing for me, I wish Holly was
It
here
saves
right
like every 50th of a second or
now.
something.
Okay,
It's
so I'm
always
going to
saving.
classroom now and I left that up. Okay.
That
Yeah,
will
but
exist in
Paul,
Docs.
Where do we find, I'm sorry, Paul, the classroom again?
Just Google it.
Google it.
And then do we have to sign
Or
in
the
to
classroom.
the waffle?
Google Classroom and then sign in. Yep.
Okay, where's the sign?
Where you might
Somewhere in
know.
there, click on where it
Yeah,
says.
we're-
So I'm gonna create
Teacher.
my
Yep,
first
get started using Classroom Teacher, just
Good,
click on
I'm already
Teacher.
signed in.
And I create
Yep,
a
it's
class.
already gonna sign you in. Here's Kevin DeKay, create your first class, there's a plus sign up in the upper right hand corner. Has anybody ever shared a doc with kids hoping that they could do something?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the challenges of sharing a doc with kids is, if, and you know this if you've shared a doc with your fellow teachers or someone else, you share this document and then they can play with it, right? Either they can't, because you didn't give them any permissions, and they can't do anything to it, or you gave them permission to edit it, and now every kid in the room is editing that doc. Every kid is playing in that doc, and they're all screwing it up, and now it doesn't say what it said before, and they've screwed it up, which can be really fun, and I recommend doing it because it's very interactive, and there are places for it, I think. But what this allows you to do is send each student an individual. They don't all get the same one, they get their own.
This
doc.
classroom does.
This process right here, though.
Well, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to send this doc here, I'm going to hit add. Now that doc appears here, right? Now when I want to send this doc away to kids, it says students can view file. Click on that drop down menu, make a copy for each student.
Wow.
Now each student gets their own copy, and here's this gets better, because, okay, so I said make a copy, and then I'm going to hit assign. Right? And I might have put a YouTube video in here to show them how to do it. Maybe they watch a YouTube video first and then they do the doc, or whatever I'm doing. Hit assign. Okay, it's assigning, it's sending it as an email to that student. Student receives it, opens it up, answers the question. Now later, I come back, and here I am I'm in the same, you've got this, right? Everybody sees this? You probably don't have work because you haven't assigned anything yet, but when you get work, you click on work. Okay, so I want to see my students' work, so I go to that. I'm going to go to this, I'm going to go tech questionnaire. You can see 12 kids out have done it and 4 have not completed it. So I'm going to go to tech questionnaire, middle school tech. Now here's everybody's answer. So let's see what Amaris had to say.
Oh, so then you automatically get an individual document
I
back.
have individual document back. I can look at Amaris's answers. Okay. And then I can go over here and I can, now I looked, I'm going to give Amaris a 90%. Right? Kind of slick. Kind of slick.
Totally.
Kind of slick.
Wow,
And then
okay.
she
Wait,
can log
do you
in
get
and
to
see that
pick
right away?
however the grade is?
Now, I can respond a number of ways. I can respond by returning. I can make comments on the piece of paper and hit return. When I hit return, it's going to ask me if I want to put a private comment. If I hit all students and hit return, I can put,
So
You
you
all
all
did
did
awesome.
awesome on this.
Yeah.
are you sure you want to return it? Some of them aren't done. Yep. Put private comment, you all rock this, thanks for your hard work, return. They get an email back with my, like I can see the doc as they're typing it. So if I'm in here, looking at their work,
As they're doing it.
I can see it as they're doing it. So I can open up Daniela's and I can watch Daniela type her responses and I can see if she's, this is another way to kind of monitor what they're doing. So if our kids walk out of here knowing some more of these tools, I think they're better equipped to know the tools that are going to be in front of them as they move forward. Google is updating constantly, these things are changing all the time. So, and Google's going to stay right there because they got more money than anybody.
Well, and there.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Paul.
guys.
this
Yeah,
is
that
awesome.
sure have more questions as we
Really
explore
sick.
more.
Always gonna have more questions, but.
I love it.
This is
I'm
all
gonna
I
bother
can
you
do
a lot
right
like
now.
I already do.
I need to transition to the
Okay,
drive.
so I'm gonna go, why is that one?
Yeah, phase out of Word, phase in
That'd be
Drive.
all the.